Welcome to Phil's Sewing Virtual Club. My name's Cindy, and today we're going to introduce you to the Allegro, the Baby Lock Allegro, and we're going to go over how I navigate through the screen and how we can accomplish the various features included with the purchase of this machine. This has lettering. It has a multiple of decorative stitches, mirror imaging. We can accomplish a blind hem, edge stitching, top stitching, piecing. We are going to use our zipper foot to create a piping. We've got a buttonhole and a button sewing foot and an applique that we're going to accomplish using one of the included open toe feet. So let's get started, and we're going to navigate first of all through the front of this machine. When the presser foot is up, this stop button is going to be red. It won't be ready to sew until you lower that foot. Here's our reverse key. This is our reinforcement key, where it's going to lock stitch in place your stitches, and then you can use the trimmer button to trim. This is your needle up down, your tension. Here we have the speed control. You can control your speed if you want a slow speed stitch, or you want to stitch in a faster pace. So if you notice here, we have a light flashing, and that's telling me that the presser foot is up. Once I lower that presser foot, that light disappears. So we've got a very intuitive screen here. The first section here, down here, we're going to go through these icons, and the first one is our utility stitches. And if you open the lid, it's going to show a display of a lot of the built-in stitches here. It doesn't have the alphabet, but we'll go over that later. The next section here is a next set of decorative stitches, which starts at number 662. So that's about right here. We've got some more decorative stitches, and that is 157, so we're down here. So you can kind of jump forward using that, and I'll also show you to advance. Let's just say I want 170, so I'm at 157 now. If I use this key here, that's going to jump me ahead 10 to the next 10. It's going to start at 161. So once I jump ahead again, it's going to take me to 171. So in order to get to 170 then, these are the singles right here, and I go back one, and I'm now at 170, and that was my desired stitch. So that's how we navigate through getting to the various numbers of decorative stitches. This icon here is going to bring me to the buttonholes. Now, there's a nice selection of buttonholes here, and also there's a button sewing on, and there's also a mending. So we've got a lot of that there. If I select this brings me to the alphabet, and in order to, we'll go over this a little bit later, but in order to get the alphabets, we're going to use our memory key. And that would be this key here. And we'll go over that with combination stitches and alphabets a little bit later. This is our trim function. This here, this icon is a repeat. If I want to stitch one heart, let's go back to the heart. If I want to stitch one heart, there's no reason to use my repeat key. However, if I want to keep stitching hearts, then I'm going to use my repeat key. And if you see here, it is displaying that on the screen. Once I touch it, it goes off. Once I turn it on, it's going to repeat. And here's another thing. There's a mirror image key. So if I want let's go back to our heart. If I want to mirror image that, it switched that heart facing the opposite way. So we have a mirror image key here. We have twin needle sewing. That's another positive on this machine, and a reinforcement sewing. So as we go along, we're going to navigate through these features of the machine. We're going to, first start out with winding a bobbin. So let's go ahead and go for it. And I did want to bring your attention to page 17 of the manual. This will also provide you a display of everything I just went over. That's going to tell you how to accomplish anything and navigate through that system. And this is a great manual to have on handy. It's going to show you how to thread your machine. It's going to tell you how to wind a bobbin. We do have a foot control for this machine, and we also have a hands-free knee lift, presser foot lifter. So there's a lot of power packed in this little machine. And one thing you're going to notice off right away is your 12-inch throat space. And that would give you the ability to quilt a lot of bigger quilts with ease. So that's a positive. We have a clear bobbin case cover. And what I really enjoy is this easy threading. So this little pin here will raise up. It has a lever and it raises up, and I can put this down and install my thread here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to thread a bobbin. Now you've got this display here up on the lid, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to go ahead and slide it down. So you can do it this way too. So we're going to go behind here, and if you follow this, I'm going to go over this little guide here through the tension guide. And then we're going to use our thread and thread it through this little hole here on the bobbin. So once I've got it through there, I'm going to push that bobbin down. And you want to hold on to this and turn the bobbin until it snaps into place. There's a little pin here that's going to seat that bobbin for bobbin winding. Then the next thing we do is just simply push that over, and I have my foot control connected, so all I do is press my foot control. I'm going to stop and trim, and then you can wind that bobbin as full as you would like it to be. So I've got the green color on here. I'm using a new Senta thread by Madeira, and we'll go over that later. I'll show you that after we're done here. That's enough for right now, and then you just basically pull this out, trim your thread, and then we can insert our bobbin. And to insert the bobbin, it's a drop-in bobbin, so you're going to drop it in with the going counterclockwise. And you're going to snip it through that little tension guide in there. And it's got a guide where you can cut your thread and seat that bobbin in there. And then you just basically snap on your plate. So now we can go ahead and thread our machine for sewing. So I'll start over here. We go through the back, and it's going to seat right there. We come through this guide, down 2, 3, and if you can see, it's very simple. It's numbered. We're going to come down to number 5 behind this. There's a little guide over the needle, and this needle threader is kind of awesome. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my thread right under this little hook, and I'm going to hold it. Push down my foot, and if you see that little wire goes through that needle, and you're going to feel it catch, and once you feel it catch, you let go, and you have this little loop back here. And you merely just pull that loop towards the back. And then I can use my little needle thread cutter on the side here. And now I'm ready to sew. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go back to my utility stitches, and I'm going to just show you how smooth this machine is with just a straight stitch. My utility stitch. So here we go. This machine has great puncture power, and I can lower that speed. If I was doing some top stitching, I might want to lower that speed and be very careful. And then here's my reinforcement. It's going to lock in place. And then my thread trimmer. What a nice little stitch there. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you is overcasting the edges, because I'm going to start this, and I don't want to pull out my serger just doing this right now. So I'm going to put my overcast foot on. Here's my overcast foot, and this is going to help assist me with the edge. I'm going to roll the edge right along this right here, just like that. And all you do is to drop that foot. There's a little lever back here, and it just drops off. How easy can that be? Now I think I've got a white thread wound and bobbin, so I'm going to go ahead and change that out right now. I'm going to insert. I'm going to put this away. This is really nice too. We have a storage bin in the front. We also have a storage bin in the back, so that's always handy. You can keep all your supplies nice and handy while you're at your sewing table. And you basically just lower that presser foot, matching up that bar with the insert there, and you've got your foot attached. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is our overcast. After the foot's installed, I'm going to choose my overcast stitch, and I'm going to just show you. The book does have an overview of all of this information that I'm providing you in here. There's several different overcasts and overlocking. The overlock is stitch 25, your shell is 27, your overcasting is 044, and the decorative overcasting is 047. And it does give you recommendations that for stitch length and stitch width. So that's all something that's adjustable on this machine also, which is a great feature. So I'm going to use number 025, which is the overlock. So in order to get to, I'm an 01, so in order to get to that, I'm going to go twice. I'm on 11, and then I'm going to advance to 21, and then I'm going to use my single to advance it to 25. Okay, so now I'm on 25, and all I'm going to do is line up the edge of my foot under the needle with that flange. And now I can start sewing that overcast. And this I can go a little faster because I've got that guide built right into that foot. And this is great if you just, if you're mending or anything and you really have a space where your serger's not all the way set up. You can just put it under here and overlock that edge, and it's great for knits. Okay, and I can just go all the way around, but I'm just going to show you really close up how nice that finishes that edge. Okay, so let's go on to our next. Let's do a couple decorative stitches. So I'm going to remove this foot and put back on my all-purpose foot. And right here it does describe when you select that stitch. I'm not going to move it from the overcast. It does show that you use that overcast foot for that. And here are your adjustments for the width and the length. Okay? So now we're going to go to some of the decorative stitches. So right now I've chosen this icon, which takes me to 062. So I'm going to just choose a decorative stitch in this. Let's do the 77, which is hearts with a little vine. So I am going to go once with the advanced 10 key, and it's going to take me to 71, and I said that was 77, so we're going to go on the single to 77. So now we have our heart with the vine. Now if I want to do just one, I just leave that alone, but I'm going to repeat that, so I've got the little repeat button here that I've turned on. So I'm going to put my all-purpose foot back on. And let's get a little color to this. Let's do a red heart. And I'm going to raise my pin, insert my spool cap, lower that. Through the guides, I'm going to lower my foot and use my needle threader, catch that, let go in it, pulls up that loop. And I'll pull my thread through and use my thread trimmer. So we're going to do some hearts here. So I'm going to lower, raise my presser foot and lower it, and I've got it set on a heart, and I've got it on repeat. So let's do decorative stitches are always fun. You can always embellish anything, even a pre-made garment, or you could do this on quilts. You can do it on home deck. The decorative stitches are always fun. You may even want to create something like what I did and stitch out all of the decorative stitches and number them. You can write on your sample and number them so you see how they stitch out. So there, we completed one row of the repeated hearts, and it looks really cute. So that's nice. Now let's go on to something else. Let's try to combine some decorative stitches. So let's go to the single heart 157. So we're going to use our keys to go over to the 151. And our single key to go over to 7. So we have one single heart. And now I'm going to press my memory key. So now my memory is on. And if you can see, I have one heart. I've got one heart. And I'm going to say OK. Now that's going to help me. Now I've got 2. Every time I push OK, I'm going to have another. OK. And now I want to add a star. So that star is 158. So there's the star. And I say, okay, 6, 7. So let me show you that really quick. So now I've done a combination stitch. And I'm going to just stitch that out. And it's going to stitch out our hearts as it's displaying here on the screen. And you know what? I'm going to put in my quilt bar, which is going to help me get assisted in lining these up. It just basically puts it through the back end here. And I'm just gonna use this straight line here as a guide. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, see our repeat? So we've got 3 hearts, 3 stars. That's a cool thing. You can combine any of these stitches. Remove my quilt bar. One thing I want to show you too is how we can mirror image. So one thing I want to take that memory off right now, and we're going to go back to the first selection here, and let's choose 63. So we're going to go over 1 since we're at 62. And this is a little flower, and I'm not going to change threads right now. I'm just going to show you this really quick. And I'm just going to do repeats on this. So I won't have to do a whole row, but I'll give you the idea. Okay, so now I've got my flowers, and the flowers are on the right side. Now I want to mirror image that, and turn off my repeat. I want to go to the flower, which is going to be on the left side. So I chose my repeat and then my mirror image key. So now I'm going to line this up. Now you can see we've got flowers on this side and flowers on the left. So the right and the left. So that was the mirror image. I did want to mention that in the manual it does display what decorative stitches and stitches are adjustable and the figures that are what they're adjustable to. So like here, for example, the satin stitch here can go as wide as 7 millimeters and as low as 1 millimeter. The default is 5.5. So this manual will display, and there are some decorative stitches that, for obvious reasons, are not adjustable in the stitch width and stitch length. So I'm going to go over one that is adjustable right now, and we're going to go to stitch 146. It's a satin, and if you can see here, I want to increase this. I'm going to start out, and I'm going to show you the difference. I'm going to start out at the default, and then we're going to increase it so you can get a visual on what that looks like. So let's stitch out, and I'm going to repeat this. Oh. Okay. And I'm going to stitch at the default, and we'll do a few of them here. Please go fast. Okay, now I'm going to, let's finish this one here. Okay, now I'm going to increase this. And it goes up to 0.8. So I'm going to show you what the difference of this is. And you have the ability to play with these, create your own sampler. And that's going to give you an idea of what you have to get the desired look. Okay, I'm going to stop here. And if you see, there's this is the difference. This makes it elongated and opened up more. And this is a narrower, shorter. Okay, so you do have adjustments here on some of those stitches, and you might want to play with those also.